Hey there, food enthusiasts! Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the wonderful world of flavors and culinary delights. Today, we have something incredibly delicious on the menu: sun-dried tomatoes. Sun-dried tomatoes are tomatoes that are dried through exposure to the sun, reducing the moisture content of the tomato. This drying process concentrates the flavor and gives the tomatoes a firm texture. Sun-dried tomatoes have an intense, sweet, and savory taste, and are often used as an ingredient in various dishes. They are frequently added to salads, pasta, pizzas, sandwiches, sauces, dressings, and tapenades. They can also be used to add flavor to soups, stews, and casseroles. Sun-dried tomatoes are usually made by slicing tomatoes and then allowing them to dry in the sun. The drying process can take several days to a week, depending on the intensity of sunlight and temperature. Sun-dried tomatoes should be stored in an airtight container in a cool, dry place, preferably in the refrigerator. If stored properly, they can last for several months to a year. Sun-dried tomatoes are nutritious and contain important nutrients such as vitamin C, vitamin K, potassium, and dietary fiber. However, they are also calorie and sugar-rich due to their concentrated nature. You can make sun-dried tomatoes yourself by slicing tomatoes, seasoning them with salt, pepper, and optionally herbs like oregano or thyme, and then placing them on a baking sheet to dry in the sun or in an oven at a low temperature. In short, sun-dried tomatoes are a delicious addition to many dishes due to their intense flavor and versatility in the kitchen. But research has been done. Because are sun-dried tomatoes really dried in the sun? How do they achieve this at that price? And if they are truly sun-dried, where does this happen? In 2017, a research team delved into the world of sun-dried tomatoes, and it turned out that there is no clear regulation for the product. Manufacturers could use the oven partially for the drying process and still put them on the shelves as sun-dried tomatoes. The team wanted to find out if there are millions of tomatoes drying somewhere in the world. In the end, they didn't end up in Italy, but during their investigation, they ended up in Turkey. Italians love tomatoes. Tomatoes are included in many famous Italian dishes. However, tomatoes are a summer product, so Italian farmers came up with something a long time ago. By drying the tomatoes in the sun with dry and hot air, they can last up to 12 months. And that is long enough to enjoy the sun-dried tomatoes even during the harsh winter months. But when you look at the label, it says, "Made in Italy." A logical assumption would be that the tomatoes were dried there, but the term "made in Italy" does not indicate where the sun-dried tomatoes are truly dried. The sun-dried tomatoes from the jars in the supermarket mainly come from Turkish soil and are also dried there in the sun. Turkey is the largest supplier of sun-dried tomatoes, accounting for 85%. But what about the "Made in Italy" label? Italy imports the tomatoes, changes the product by adding different packaging, a sticker, or an extra ingredient. And that gives the Italians the right to claim that the sun-dried tomatoes are Italian. In short, a sun-dried tomato has been sunbathing, but not where you would expect it with a "Made in Italy" label. Why are the tomatoes then dried in Turkey? This is due to several factors such as climate and geography. Turkey has a climate favorable for drying tomatoes. Many regions in Turkey have warm, dry summers with sufficient sunlight, which is essential for the outdoor drying process. Drying food, including tomatoes, is a traditional method of food preservation in many parts of Turkey. This has led to a long history of drying tomatoes and developing skills and knowledge in this area. It's strange that we assume it's an Italian delicacy. Furthermore, economic aspects such as labor costs and price competition can influence where sun-dried tomatoes are produced. Turkey may have an economic advantage when it comes to production costs and the export of sun-dried tomatoes. The number of insects found in jars of dried tomatoes is a less delightful addition to the dishes. When you buy a jar of sun-dried tomatoes, you're not only buying tomatoes that have been basking in the sun for days. Insects that have enjoyed the sun-soaked tomato are also found in the well-filled glass jars in the supermarket. This was revealed in a study. Whole beetles and legs of other large insects, such as spiders, were found in the jars. The tomatoes are left to dry for about 7 days in open fields. No cloths or other protective measures are used to shield the tomatoes from pests. In the fields, insects have free rein to thoroughly enjoy the sunshine and the sun-dried tomato. After they are harvested from the field, they are washed. But the stubborn insect, which has firmly attached itself to the tomato, tends to survive this wash to some extent, meaning parts of the insect remain stuck in or on the pulp. The Food and Consumer Product Safety Authority determines the maximum amount of insect parts that may be present in products. Currently, it is advised not to consume more than 45 grams of insect parts per day. Insects contain chitin, a building material for the insect's exoskeleton. Insects in our daily diet are quite common, whether consciously or unconsciously. For example, dates often contain insect remains for the same reason as sun-dried tomatoes. An example of conscious use of insects is in products like juices, fristy, and gelatin products, where the blood of female lice is used to give these products their well-known pink color. For more information on this, watch our video on louse blood as a food coloring. But be aware that with sun-dried tomatoes, it happens unconsciously, not intentionally. It's not unthinkable that there's some extra protein in there, but you won't taste it. Often, they are small parts of an insect that are not visible without the help of a microscope. So, sun-dried tomatoes retain the taste of Italy, or better said, of Turkey. And there you have it, folks. The fascinating journey through the sun-drenched realm of sun-dried tomatoes. We hope you enjoyed unraveling the mysteries behind this culinary treasure. If you found this video as delightful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button below. Also, share your thoughts and favorite sun-dried tomato recipes in the comments. Until next time.